You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey Days fans, I've got your weekly prediction edition. Fiona flees, Fabby is shot, and Brady makes a demand. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got predictions for Brady, Kristen, and Sarah, for Fabby and Mark, for Johnny and Chanel, for Fiona, and for Steve, Chad, and Fabby. And as always, our predictions are based on official NBC Peacock spoilers they send us every week, plus recent episode activity and the weekly promo. Let's dive right in with our first prediction. Brady forces Kristen to give Sarah the cure. So last week, Kristen stuck to her guns when Xander came and tried to get the cure. She won't give it to Sarah unless they get Brady's charges dropped, which they did try to do, but her brother EJ is being a big ol' a-hole. So Monday, October 14th, Xander tells Maggie about the cure and the issues he's facing getting it to Sarah. That's the same day Eric and Brady are trying to figure out what really happened that night. Also on Monday, looks like Fiona is trying to kill Sarah because she has remembered she was the driver. And on Tuesday, the 15th, Xander's furious at his mom. Clearly, Fiona doesn't succeed in silencing Sarah, and Brady credits Eric for saving him. By Thursday, the 17th, Sarah and Xander are again pressing EJ to let Brady go. So I just feel like Kristen may hold out on the cure. And if she tries to keep doing that because she despises Sarah, because remember, Sarah had that breakdown after the whole baby Mickey and Rachel swap. And if she tries to just be petty, which we all know Kristen can be monstrous, and keep it out of Sarah's hands, I am certain Brady is going to tell Kristen, look, you give it to her and you give it to her right now. And in the end, Kristen will do what Brady wants because he owns her heart. Our second prediction, Fabby shot at the wedding. So on Friday at the prison, they're saying Supermax, but then he shouldn't even be having visitors, but I guess because he's pretending to be his lawyer. By the way, did you see the name he used for Mark as his fake lawyer? It was Jackie Childs. And I was like, I know that name. Where do I know it? And I Googled it. He was that lawyer from Seinfeld, another NBC show, that was always doing Kramer's crazy lawsuits that were all kinds of nonsense. And oh my gosh, that was just a funny reference. I don't know if you guys picked up on it or not, or knew who Jackie was. So he has ordered Mark to murder Chad as soon as he marries Fabby. And then Mark got on a call with Fabby, who's in Paris, and that call resumes on Monday the 14th. Holly overhears part of it, according to spoilers. That same day, Steve's back in Salem, vowing to prove that Fabby is not the real Abigail. By Thursday the 17th, JJ Deveraux is in Paris to re-meet his sister, but it's Fabby, and he officiates her wedding to Chad. By Friday, the reception goes badly. That's October 18th. Mark's at the door at the Paris apartment, gun in hand, not wanting to kill Chad, but desperate to save their mother's life from horrible Clyde. In the promo, Fabby freaks out, looks like she's trying to shove Chad out of the way, and a gunshot fires. So I just wonder if Fabby is going to end up catching a bullet for Chad. Not fatally, but she feels super guilty, and she doesn't want Chad dead. And if she keeps him out of the way of the bullet, or even takes a bullet for him, that might convince Chad and Steve that she's not all bad. And of course, her brother Mark would be horrified if he shot Fabby. I suspect because in the promo, Kayla's trying to reach Steve, but he's not answering her phone after she sent a text confirming that woman is not Abigail. He may have hopped a flight to Paris to stop what is happening there and may show up slightly too late. Our third prediction, Johnny DiMera's false assumptions mess with his marriage. Last week, Johnny saw Alex writhing around naked on top of a woman in a hospital room where they were rehearsing a scene. Johnny didn't bother to stop to see that the woman was a white chick, not his wife, who was in with Kayla getting her back problems seen about. Johnny assumed the worst because he's been so jealous and so preoccupied. So Tuesday, October 15th, spoilers have Johnny gearing up to confront Chanel about her cheating. Wednesday, October 16th, looks like he hasn't done it yet, but Chanel notices that his mood has been off. So when Johnny finally gets around to confronting Chanel, it's going to be so messy because she hasn't done any cheating. And in fact, this could cause some cheating. It might really mess with their marriage. A spoiler photo shows Alex standing awfully close to Chanel. Maybe it's for a scene on their TV show, or maybe it's more than that, because Stephanie and Alex agree next week, per official spoilers, that hooking up was a big mistake. And then Johnny has just basically said, I don't trust you, and this is what I think you're capable of doing. That's really going to irritate his wife and could cause some consequences. All right, our fourth prediction, Fiona flees to avoid arrest. So last week, the noose was tightening around drunk bad lady Fiona Cook's neck. She was lying to Eric, continuing to lie to Brady, let him take the fall for her crime, threatened a teenage girl, Sophia, if she told anybody that Fiona had been hitting the bottle at the bistro. Sarah's memories returned on Friday the 11th, just as Fiona walked in the door. And on Monday, October 14th, Sarah tells Fiona she knows what she did. And it looks like Fiona tries to silence her for good. It looks like she's trying to throw her down the stairs because she's pulled her out of her wheelchair. Something violent, something murdery. Tuesday, October 15th, Xander confronts Fiona, so obviously she doesn't get away with it. And Thursday, October 17th, Fiona and Brady finally have an honest chat. The same day, Xander and Sarah are pressuring EJ to let Brady go. So I know that EJ would be absolutely thrilled to arrest Xander's mom, but I suspect she'll run because at this point, it's not just, DUI hit and run. It's honestly attempted murder for what she's trying to do to Sarah at the house. And, Xander might even let his mom, Fiona, get away. Although, in a different circumstance, he promised to chase Teresa Donovan to the ends of the earth if she tried to run after he figured out she had kidnapped his daughter, Victoria. He scared Teresa so bad that she just turned herself in and worked out a plea deal. So Fiona could wind up in Statesville, off screen, like other villains, or maybe she flees back to the UK. I mean, either outcome is going to destroy Xander and really hurt Sarah and Maggie, who welcomed this woman with open arms. Our fifth and final prediction, Steve helps fake Chad's death to entrap Clyde. So on Monday the 14th, as I said before, Steve's vowing to expose Fabby. Kayla sends him a text saying that's not really Abigail. I expect that Kayla maybe double-checked the last paternity test, even though she refused to run a new one, because remember, Mark was in charge of that test, whom she said she trusted. But I think checking the old test is okay rather than running a new one without permission. And Kayla figures out something is up. So maybe she sees it's been altered and that Mark was the one to do it. So I also suspect Steve winds up in Paris at the same time Mark is there to murder his new brother-in-law, Chad. Steve doesn't want somebody pretending to be his niece, Abigail, but he's obviously going to understand that Clyde's threats are very real and Mark and Marin were backed into a corner because he had hold of their mother. And in the end, the whole Fabby thing's going to come out. But Clyde remains a problem either way because he will kill Mark and Fabby's mom and he won't stop coming for the DiMeras. So I'm wondering if they're going to set up a deal where they fake Chad's death to entrap Clyde. It could be a death and resurrection with the help from Rolf, or it could just be a fake death with doctored photos to fool Clyde. I'm certain Steve might take the initiative on this to take Clyde down once and for all so that Steve can atone for letting that slippery snake escape from prison last time, even though he wound up behind bars.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.